Hello, beautiful, wonderful, majestic souls. My name is Dans. This is my channel, That Good Tarot, where we do timeless readings for anyone with any placements. If you've made your way to this reading, I do believe there is a message in here for you. However, if you don't resonate with this reading, that's cool, that's chill. Go check out my channel. There are so many other readings there. I'm sure you'll find something that fits you. So let's get into it. We have two cards coming out of the deck already. We have the Wheel of Fortune and we have the Page of Cups. It looks like you have more opportunity opening up to you than you thought that you did. It feels like there's this expansive energy that you are starting to inhabit. Like you're really starting to awaken to possibility in your life. And I feel like this is coming hand in hand with some really deep inner child and like self-love type of exercises. You might be doing some specific meditations on that. But I actually feel like you're starting to see your worth in a way that you haven't before. And that's not to say that like you don't think of yourself as worthy or worthwhile. I think that you do, like to an extent. But this is kind of like this next phase where I really can see for you that you can see that like anything's kind of possible. Like you're actually believing, like fully believing your capability and your lovability, like your capacity to be loved, to be held, to be accepted. That's huge. Y'all, that's massive. Okay, so we're going to dig into this energy, this Page of Cups energy here. We're also going to look at this expansive energy that's going on with the Wheel of Fortune. I love a you-centered reading. Love it. All right, Page of Cups, universe, insight and information. What would you like this beautiful collective to know about this journey that they're on, and what can be supportive to them at this time? Thank you. Okay. We have the Three of Cups, strength. We have the Four of Pentacles with judgment. We also have the Eight of Swords coming up. So let's have a look. With the Three of Cups and the strength, I actually see not only you re-engaging and reinvesting into relationships, but I actually see like quite a magnetic pull that you have. Like you might feel like people are just kind of coming up to you and talking to you, and like it, even as I inhabit that energy that you're in, it's like almost weird how much people are just like coming up and starting conversations with you. And that is an extension of you inhabiting this expansive energy. Like your energy is literally like radiating out from you. And people are like drawn to it. People that like are on that same wavelength or feel that and they want to be part of that. They just want to be in your energy. They are coming towards that. This is coming from you being in a really strong place. I'm seeing that this energy coming towards you is actually really healthy. I think this is coming especially from a place of protection that you have over yourself. Like I feel like you've probably been very, very protective, very, very guarded, almost like too hypervigilant with protecting your energy and watching for people's motives, for people's hidden agendas. Maybe you've been burned by people before who care about you or say that they care about you, but really they are, selfish is how I'm going to very lightly put it. I feel like because you are inhabiting an expansive energy, but because you have also fostered this very protective energy, the energy that you're giving is like expansive, but also sacred, like you're not about to just like leak energy by like giving it to everyone. So the people who feel it and feel like that energy is approachable towards you, like they can or approachable towards them, and then they can approach you. They're the right kind of people. And I feel like, I think your guides are just like, kudos to you for really curating your energy. I don't think it was an intention of yours to curate your energy, but that's exactly what happened because you have been so protective with your energy and who gets to receive that. it's no longer leaking. You aren't attracting those people that see your light and want to take advantage of that, want to get close to that so that they can feel some kind of, whether they're chasing clout, whether they want to use you to get a leg up somewhere else, like maybe they just want to be near that for the high of that, and then it ends up being a toxic thing. You know if you know. You know if you know what I'm talking about. They're not coming towards you because not only is your energy saying, I have a lot to offer, I am smart, I am skilled, I am wise. Like, that's what your energy is saying. I am smart, I am skilled, I am wise. Oh, how does that feel? It feels like I am home is the other energy that you really expand with. That's so, I know that doesn't like make grammatical sense, but in the way that it feels, it's like when people are in your energy, they feel like a home space in that, like that it's very comfortable, very familiar, and very safe. They feel like it's a safe place for them to exist. Oh, I love that. I love that you do that. And then the other thing is you will not be played. You're not about to take some BS. So the people who feel that wisdom, that home feeling, and they are a match for that, they will come to you quite easily. But the people who are looking to take advantage, they're going to be hit in the face with that feeling of, oh, they're not going to take BS. It's like you give out different energies depending on like what the other person is picking up. So I just think that's a really cool thing that you have kind of curated. So it's protective, but it's also expansive. So yeah. Okay, we also have 4 of Pentacles, the Judgment, 8 of Swords. Yeah. It's exactly what we were talking about then. Was that like you have been through this period of real hardship where you have had to be quite vindictive about who gets to spend time in your energy. And I think that's probably led you into a place of isolation. I think that the idea of people coming towards you could be really exciting because in order to grow this protective instinct around your energy, probably came from a place of isolation, a place where maybe you were leaking way too much energy and there were people who were taking advantage of your heart of gold. And that led you to a place where it's like, I don't trust anyone. I don't even trust myself because I can't trust myself to read whether or not someone has good intentions or not. And you've really had to grow that protective instinct in a place of darkness, in a place of real pain, and in a place of isolation. But I think in doing that, there's something so beautiful about the self-love that exists in this protection that you have grown for yourself, because you are having to say to yourself, like, I am valuable, I am worthy. And no, not everyone gets access to me. Not everyone just gets a part of me. No one is owed any part of me. And no one gets to come in here and treat me badly. And that hand in hand with not knowing whether or not you can accurately assess someone else's intentions. Yeah, you probably spent a long time in isolation. You probably spent a long time trying to figure out how to come out of that space, how to feel safe coming out of that space. And I feel like just as much as, like, you are aligning with other people who need a empowered and protective home energy to be alongside. And that's the people coming towards you. But I feel like It's also the right people coming towards you slowly. I feel like they're kind of like dripping in, you know, it's helping you realize that you are protected because you are going to protect yourself always, and you have enough good judgment to take people as they are and take action on that. And at the first sign of like something that's not cool, be like, oh, absolutely not. Like, nope. Like, I just think that there are a few different pieces that are all aligning to you feeling so much more centered in yourself. And I honestly think that the social aspect, people coming towards you, you coming out of this isolation, that was needed. Know that that was needed. Don't think that that was a failing on your part. You needed to go through that. But I actually feel like this is a very small part of the expansion and inner healing that is going on within you. I know it's the focus of this part of the reading, but like, I think it's one of the more obvious outer manifestations of how your energy is expanding. But I think the biggest part is that you are feeling differently about yourself. All of this is an extension of how you feel differently about yourself, how you love yourself differently, deeper, more fully. And I'm not getting that you ever didn't love yourself. There may have been a period where, you know, teenagers, we all go through some kind of phase of like not being okay. But I do feel like it's deepening even more the love that you have for yourself, which is wild. Let's have a look at this Wheel of Fortune. Expansive is what I hear all through this reading. It sounds like I'm saying expensive, and we do expansive. All right, let's see what this is about. Universe, please, insight and information. What can you tell us about this Wheel of Fortune energy? Oh, I know I've been gone for a while, and now I'm getting like re-hyped up about being in these tarot readings. It happens every time that I'm away for a few days. Ooh, what a delicious lineup of cards, y'all. So we have the 8 of Pentacles coming up here. We also have the 7 of Wands with the 10 of Cups, with the Ace of Cups here. There is this momentum energy. There is this like sitting down at the desk, getting to work, getting to it, being amongst it. Like, I actually feel like there's been a level up in your productivity recently. And in your ideas. I feel like your ideas are growing. Now, if this isn't happening for you just yet, some of you may need to like rearrange your workspace, rearrange your desk, we need to shift the energy into something more exciting for you, because I feel like that's going to kickstart the thing that makes you feel really excited about creating, being productive. So we have the 7 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. This is a very strange thing. So it feels like there's been this subconscious narrative going on that life is supposed to be hard for you. And it's almost like you're the kind of person that deserves a hard life, or things aren't supposed to come easy to you. Maybe there was a bit of a narrative of like, things don't come easy and you're going to have to work so hard and you're going to have to prove yourself. And there's always going to be someone better than you, and there's always going to be someone better for the job than you, and a lot of that. And look, that's these can be helpful things to build resilience. But if we grow up on that rhetoric, I think that it can stop you from feeling like you deserve things. It can stop you from seeing yourself as the person to achieve the thing that you want, because you always imagine someone else, someone better, someone who found it easier, someone who got there faster, to be the right person to do that. So you always kind of like, even though you might be showing up and succeeding at the thing, I don't think you're quite letting in how good you are. Like, let's say, for example, you are a yoga teacher, right? And your goal in life is to really help people find peace and accept themselves and find a deeper sense of well-being. Let's say that that's your goal in life. You want to be someone who helps facilitate that for them, just helps them in their journey. And you imagine someone who would bring so much joy and wisdom and healing to someone's life. They're like a saint, like they're an angel, like they just have sunshine radiating out of them at all times. You don't quite accept that you're that type of person, even though your goal is to have a positive impact on people. You don't really see yourself as that person that everyone is just like, oh my gosh, they're so incredible. I wouldn't ever go back. Like, I'm so grateful I found this person's yoga classes. Like, absolutely raving about the positive impact. Like, there seems to be this like disconnect between the goal that you have and the work that you have and the kind of person that would do that really, 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 really well. And you might even be the kind of person that gets feedback. Like the yoga teacher gets feedback being like, I can't believe I can do this with my body. It's really had a positive impact on my life in so many areas. I feel much more calm. Like, they could be raving about the yoga teacher, if that happens to be you or whatever context. They could be raving about you and the positive impact you make, but you still don't quite accept that you are the person who does that. It's kind of like, oh, well, they went on their journey and I'm just facilitating them. And there seems to be this like, or there was, or maybe there is, this disconnect between the work that you do and the goals that you have and the kind of person you think would be able to achieve that. Like, you could very well be doing those things, but for some reason, because you don't see yourself as the kind of person that would ever have a real impact, you don't see yourself as that. You don't see yourself as having that impact. Even if you are having that impact, it's like your brain can't click together that you, within yourself and the light that you have, has the ability to have that significant impact. It's a trippy thing to do, because and this is where we're getting back into that self-worth stuff. Like, it's one thing to be able to do things and hear feedback that, you know, you're doing those things, but to be able to really perceive yourself as someone who can make an impact or achieve the things that you say are achievable, these can be really, really far apart. So I feel like either you need to go on this journey or you've already started on this journey where you're looking at the logistics, you're looking at the logics, you're checking in with reasoning and being like, what if I am that person that can make such an impact? What if I am that person that can hold the attention of 1,000 people in the room? What if I am that person who makes someone's life better with my yoga classes and has a flow-on effect in their life? What if I can accept that I have an impact? I have the capability to have an impact. I am special enough. I am prolific enough. I am skilled enough. I am smart enough. I am talented enough. It always feels like there's this deficit that's running in your mind that puts you away from being the tip top, you know? And I feel like either you have and you've come to this yourself, or it's time for you to like put that fight down. Like, maybe it's time for you to realize that deficit is so far the other way. Like, maybe you already have such a positive impact on the people around you that you're just doing yourself a disservice by not letting yourself be aware of it and embrace it yourself and see the power and the responsibility that comes with that. But I think that that's what has to happen now. You need to really see yourself, like truly, truly see yourself. I feel like maybe there's people in this collective that grew up with a bit of tough love, grew up with criticism or hypercriticism, where it can be hard to see yourself as significant, you know, someone just significant, just able to be, have some share of spotlight or any authority or responsibility or be in a leader role or be seen, just be seen, you know? And I think it's time for you to really give the love to yourself that you deserve and see yourself how you really are. Because there are people who, sorry, I'm not used to not being able to see my screen. I got a new setup here. So there are people out there, and I know you know. There are people out there. There are yoga teachers, musicians, CEOs out there that say that they're all that and then some, and are not even close. Not even half as skilled as some of the other people out there that don't want to put themselves out there because they feel inadequate, even though they are highly skilled. So there's this false sense of self when the false sense of self is inflated. And then there's the false sense of self that I feel like the people who resonate with this reading have, where their sense of self is deflated. Like it's not giving yourself nearly as much credit. And that is where that disconnect is. Because you can love what you do, but do you love yourself at the fullest capacity that you deserve? How can you when you don't give yourself the credit that you deserve? When you don't acknowledge the very true impact, when you diminish your own accomplishments, can you truly love yourself? And we got to remember, why is it important to fully love ourselves? Because the way that we practice love on ourselves, the habits that we form as we practice love on ourselves, ends up being the way that we love others. And it's that whole concept of like, oh, you can't love others before you love yourself. I know people have issue with that. The way that I, in my experience, come to understand that is people love you how they love themselves. So if I'm with a partner that is super critical of themselves and is super undisciplined with themselves and is uncaring and hypercritical of themselves, that's how they're gonna treat me. And it's happened. You know, yeah. So that's not to say that the love isn't real, but the love that you give to yourself is a love you give to other people, because you're constantly giving love to yourself, you know? So what you practice is what you end up doing. And if you're out here trying to make an impact, I know that you talking and exploring around your self-love this is not the first discussion. This is not the first little deep dive into self-love. I know you've been around it. There's no way your energy is coming up here and you haven't been making a conscious effort around this. So I feel like I'm not giving you any new information. But here we are talking about there's this like extra level that you haven't quite reconciled. And that's what it is. It's just this little lingering inner child that thinks that they aren't enough to deserve whatever they want. Don't get me started on inner child. Yo. Don't. Literally don't. Okay. We're not going to do it. I'm not. No. Okay. No. But I hope that made sense. This is important for you to fully acknowledge and accept and see your value, because this is a key part of you seeing the value in others, like accurately seeing the value in others. And I don't think that there's a deficit for that either. I just feel like it goes deeper. It goes deeper. And look, the more you realize the true impact that you have, the more you embrace that, the more you allow yourself to actually do that work and recognize how important it is. I do feel like for a lot of you, you could be teachers in some capacity, or you could be in some kind of service role, customer-facing, people-facing role, or care work as well. Anyways, let's get into your oracle. There might have been a lot of cuts in this video. I'm still like getting better and the brain fog just hits. Okay. 2 oracle cards. Honoring the flow of all the emotions, alchemy, processing, sensitivity. I feel like this might have brought up some things for you. Sit with it. The big thing that I have had, it's actually on my updated vision board over here, is let it in, let it out. Big part of that flow is, everyone's like, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. Can you let it go if you aren't letting it in the first place? Make sure that those energetic currents are moving. There aren't any walls up. There isn't any stagnation. Let it in, let it out. And then birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. I'm really seeing this little shift to be the catalyst for like a lot of movement coming towards you, a lot of energy exchange, a lot of opportunity coming towards you. And I'm very excited about it. Love coming back after a couple of days away to such a beautiful reading. I love the readings that are just about you. I'm so here for it. So thank you for letting me tap into your energy. I hope this brought you some clarity, some comfort, a little bit of company maybe. But thank you so much for spending this time with me. I will see you in the next reading.